What's up, guys, and welcome to another great edition of Wake Up Uncensored. And today, guys, we have an amazing guest with us. Super excited to be sitting next to the mentor, the model, the educator, Miss Yaya DaCosta.
Okay, that's the first time I've been introduced with those words. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and sit with us and educate us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. What you all do is great, and I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Yes.
You have accomplished so much in your career, and as much as you've accomplished, you're still teaching. I wanted to start the interview off by asking, who are some of the teachers that have been there for you, that have mentored you and guided you?
So the first are my mother and father, of course. My mother ran a Montessori school for a few decades. My father was a sociology professor. They're both retired. So growing up, there was no real delineation between life and school. You know, if we were at home and asked a question, it was like, look it up in the encyclopedia. Because back then we had encyclopedias. Books in the house.
That's right. A library.
Right. A whole library, right? No Google. But so then as for, non-family mentors, I would say that the two teachers, and I consider my teachers like teachers that I had in school, teachers that I had in acting class, as well as folks whose work and whose writings I just really value and consumed, at some point. And so one of those teachers who at first I had never met in person. And then when we did meet in person, it was just like, oh my goodness. So he is a philosopher, diviner, intellectual from Burkina Faso named Malidoma Somé. He passed away a couple of years ago, and before he passed, he gave me a reading, an energetic, reading. He's a diviner, and so one of the things that he was talking about was speaking, which I did when I was younger, but not quite at this capacity. Was teaching, was finally coming to a place where I am like integrating and gathering all the things that I've learned along the different paths that I've been walking, and kind of like figure out how to package them in a way that I can offer them to those who have been asking. So he inspired me directly and indirectly to do that. And then the other one is Miss Anne Willis-Rattray, who also passed away a couple of years ago. And she was my acting coach since 7th grade. Yeah. And she inspired me in so many ways. And a lot of my style comes from her, acting even as a little kid in her class was not just mechanical. There was no formula, this is how you produce a tear. This is how you, achieve this goal. It was a deeply spiritual experience. And my relationship with my craft has continued all this time to be a spiritual experience because of her.
When you say a spiritual experience, can you give us an example of an experience that you've had?
So when I say that, I mean, I think part of the job of the actor is to elicit an emotional, response or experience in the viewer, right? To connect, to find something in common, like our humanity and the things that make us understand each other's stories. That's why theater exists, from even from the beginning of times. So the spiritual part of it just really comes from understanding that, one, the body is a vessel.
That part.
So if the body is a vessel that my spirit is inhabiting, then it kind of makes sense that you might be able to lend the vessel to another energy, whether it's fictional or not. You know, it's just kind of like how we think about the work. You know, I'm not saying like, oh, when I was on stage, I got the Holy Ghost. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
I got you.
Right.
I'm just saying like my approach is, you know, is rooted in certain practices that for me, like, make it feel like I'm doing something important and not just having fun.
Well, yeah. When you mentioned about having fun, but more so, it sounds like you're in alignment with yourself. Yeah. Are there roles, responsibilities, or even activities that you reject because it does not align with you?
All the time. All the time.
At least a little bit. Because as entertainers, a lot of our viewers or even family and friends, they don't realize we don't accept every single role that comes in.
Well, some of us do.
But not...
Some of us have to. I mean,
some of us do.
Let's not be bougie. You know what I'm saying? And elitist.
Yeah.
There are so many actors who like anything. Thank God. Like, I've been waiting these tables for years. Thank goodness something came through. Like, don't be, judgy about it.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I am so grateful to be in a position where I have, hold on.
Take a beat.
Because even in the beginning, I did that. Even when I was not, when I didn't feel like I had a savings to fall back on, and I had but there were things I can remember in the very beginning. Even when I was modeling, I remember going down a list with the agent and saying like, I don't know that I want to do alcohol ads or cigarette ads or, you know what I mean? I don't really feel the need to do nudity right now. You know what I mean? So I started off that way. And as time passed and I started to, even recently, like I'm just now getting a deeper understanding of, dare I say, my purpose. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
I'm like, oh, okay. Now, there's nothing that I've done that I feel like I shouldn't have done. Thank goodness.
Yes.
There are things that if I were offered to me today, I would not do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
But that's that's why we grow.
That's how we grow. That's how we learn. So it's like, at least for speaking for myself, I've gotten to a place where I have already realized my purpose before I arrived here. And I have realized that while in spirit, what my mission is to do, to create. Now, as I'm creating, I've become very mindful and conscious of how I'm depicted in film and how I'm depicted either on runway or print ads as well, because there are other generations behind me that are watching. And I would like to at least teach and show and be the example of what you can do, even if it's the color of your skin, whether you're Native American, whether you are Black, whether you are African, doesn't matter. But if you believe, you can do it and you can accomplish it, but don't settle. Because we get to a place where we settle. And even if, like you said, we've been waiting tables, we've been busting and doing all this stuff. It's like, when is my break going to come? When is it? When is it? And my thing is, just live in it. Live in that moment. Live in your purpose and find it and continue to work hard.
I remembered who said, does anybody know? There's an actress who said, like something like, like probably really old, like black and white. Like, baby, do you know how many times I've been discovered?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, people think that there's this one big break. People think that there's like, oh my God, I got this. Like, this is going to be it for real this time.
It's not like that.
I was on, what year was that? I don't remember what year it was. Oh, it was, I think it was around the time I did The Butler. So that would have been maybe 2014 it came out. I was on the cover of W magazine.
Yes.
with 2 other actors.
Yes.
And it was called, I think it said The It Girls of Hollywood. And it was me, Greta Gerwig,
Yes.
and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes. Yes.
It's 2025. Look at everybody
Yeah.
that was on there. Look at the differences in like where. Now, I'm not saying that haven't made choices. You know what I'm saying? But I am no less talented. I am no, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm not quite, or perceived as being like where they each have arrived in separately. And so my experience in this business is it's so interesting. As a woman, as a Black woman, I'm just excited for everything that's coming, because like I've really, and I'm jumping ahead because I know you said you wanted to talk about like work-life balance.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
But really, really living life, having so many other interests, you know what I mean? Investing time and energy into birth work and, I'm a parent, you know what I'm saying? All these other things, and then still be ambitious as ever, still want to be choosy, right? As Eartha Kitt would say, I'm very choosy.
We like Eartha.
So, okay. Want to be choosy and have integrity and make good choices.
Yes.
But then also like need momentum. Like it's a very interesting dance.
It is. It is. We love to dance. And we have to do what it is that we truly do. Like we have to dance. And that's something that our viewers, we're getting them to understand as well. It's a dance. You don't arrive at that destination just one time. If you look at it, you arrive multiple times. It's your mindset.
There you go.
Okay, so you were talking about, if I am correct, road work. In terms of that, have you received any massive wins from either your personal life or your career, whether big or small?
I missed what you said. Road work?
When you said road work, yes. What do you mean?
What did I say?
I think you said, was it roll? Maybe it was roll.
Birth work.
Birth work.
Birth
Yeah.
Birth work.
Yes.
Thank you. Birth work is a word that I use to describe my work as a support person in childbirth. So like a doula is someone that supports a birthing person, a mother who's about to give birth through the labor and delivery process.
Yeah.
Sometimes a postpartum doula will continue to support her after the birth, come by and, do overnight shifts and feed the baby, hold the baby while you go to the bathroom. Like literally, and when you have a newborn, you can't do anything. You know what I mean? So there's that kind of stuff. Sometimes they specialize in, there's so many things. There's so many different kinds of doulas, right? Some are like the placenta encapsulating queens, and they come with their what do you call it? Dehydrator and the little pills, and they shuffle, right? There's a whole thing. Then you have ones that are like, I'm good with cleaning, cooking. And then you have ones that are like, I will not touch a dish, but give me the baby. And you know what I mean? There's just so many different.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
But
I mean, that's so educational.
I didn't know any of that.
Thanks for dropping that knowledge.
Yeah.
so it's another passion of mine since 2010. And I can't believe my first doula baby is 14.
Jesus.
Congratulations.
She's going to high school. Anyway, so yeah, it's another passion of mine. And because, again, juggling that with, real life means, and work means that, like, there were times when I would leave set at 9 p.m., For example, one was on the set of Chicago Med. We were shooting in Chicago, and I was actually supporting a woman who worked in the wardrobe department. Because, people like word catches on. Somebody gets pregnant, they're like, oh, go talk to Yaya. You know what I mean? And so it was like we had a great time. She would be in my trailer pumping. Like we had a system going after. Yeah. But she gave birth. I left set, went straight to the hospital. She wanted to be in the hospital. But I prefer home births. Just for our freedom and health, especially
Yes.
with this Black maternal health crisis that we are in.
Yes.
Preach.
Safety is in the home. Safety is in the remembering. Safety is in knowing that we've been doing this since humans existed. And trust yourself, trust your body before a surgeon, unless they're necessary. Okay. So I went to the hospital. She gave birth at like 4 a.m. I was back on set at 6 a.m.
That's right.
Okay, so
And that's the, you know what I mean? That's what it was.
The life must continue.
I knew my lines. It was okay. I was tired, but we
That's
got
right,
we
'cause
got
you're
it done.
a professional.
But we got it done.
right.
You know what I mean? Went after work, before I went to sleep, went back to check on her again.
You called it what? Birth work.
Birth work.
Birth work.
Yes.
That's what it was. Birth work. You heard
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
You got back to business.
So these days I do a little bit less hands-on and more advocacy. So I work with midwives. Right now we're fundraising for a Black midwifery fellowship. We're headed to Uganda in a couple of months to apprentice with some really beautiful traditional midwifery goddesses over there. I mean, sometimes it's so interesting because as time goes on and humans keep inventing things, we think we're always improving. And sometimes the magic is in the remembering. It's like it's going back. It's going backwards.
Never quite heard it that way before, which ties into why education is important. Do you feel as though in the U.S. that there's a lack thereof when it comes to education? Like, what are your thoughts on it? I want you to.
Do I?
Yeah.
Mrs. Wake Up on Sense. For the record.
Yes, uncensored as you would like to be.
I mean, are we in America? Are we in the United States right now? Are we aware? Are we aware of what's going on right now?
Oh, yeah.
Do we? I mean, in the big ways, right? Just looking at the world today and being like, some of this, could be avoided.
Yes.
With proper education. And then in the little ways, like I have friends, again, it's not their fault. Okay. It's really not their fault. It's the system.
Okay.
But now that we have social media and everyone is writing, like typing, I don't think before social media, we knew how illiterate the country is. You know what I mean? Like no one knows how to spell anything and it's no judgment. It's just looking at like, oh, this is normal. Like, step it up, America. You know?
But then we have those systems like ChatGPT and we have online dictionaries.
I'm not hating.
You know what I mean? Do you feel like that is hindering us or helping us in terms of those learning curves?
I definitely see the arguments that say that it's like helping us. And I think that it makes things faster, but I also think that we need to start slowing down a little bit.
Correct.
I don't know what this obsession is with speed all the time. Like,
Correct.
No one knows what they're even thinking anymore because it's never quiet. They're either consuming something on their phone or they're consuming, TV or they're consuming, right? There's never any just like sitting with yourself, right? So, but then, say what?
Okay, this is interesting because I've never actually had a conversation with somebody, I wouldn't say on the more simpler side of like humanity because I work in tech. So,
It's going to be good.
yeah. So
I'm ready.
Yes. When you brought this up, I was like, fantastic. And I genuinely want to know because I am I say it's the two sides of the same coin. And I have a two-sided question. The first question is, you mentioned Burkina Faso. Again, I have a grandmother, a mother who has a tad bit of African spirituality in it that she will pound on you when she was still around I don't know if anybody know who like the Anansis, the different, of our...
You mean the spider?
The spider. Oh, come on. He's more than a spider. He is a storyteller.
Oh, of course. No, wait. I have to interject. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a story called Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock.
Okay.
And in 7th grade, that was my story for the citywide storytelling contest. And I won.
Okay, there you go.
Anyway, we know about Anansi. Go ahead.
Not just a spider.
Yeah.
He's not just a spider. He's a
See, not yet.
sage
Yeah.
and a trickster.
There we go.
Very much. He's our low key for some of you guys that are watching. But anyway, and I'm also in the media side and more technology side, I would say technology brings something more godly to a human. Because with, let's say, ChatGPT, right? This is the worst we've ever seen it. This is the worst we're ever going to see it. Every day, ChatGPT and everything AI gets smarter and better and better. And eventually, it's going to completely surpass us. In a sense, would you say that we are creating our own God?
I would definitely not say that.
And why not?
I would not say that because I didn't finish answering your question before.
Of course.
Which was that it actually is making us dumber. Okay? When I was a kid, the reason that I got in touch with my junior high school acting coach after college was because I remembered her phone number.
Oh, come on.
No, because cell phones weren't as big as they are now.
I knew everyone's phone numbers who was important to me.
She got me there.
Whose phone number do you know today?
My own.
Right. So similarly, AI
Yes.
is dumbing people down because we don't have to think as much if something else is thinking for you. Okay. Now, the flip side is that AI is not omnipotent.
Yet.
It's programmed by human beings.
Yes.
So, I mean, I guess if you want to use that word, it would be the God of Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? Because Jeffrey programmed it. Or we the God of Susie, because Susie, that's simplifying it, but like,
I know what you're saying.
it's not there to be neutral. It executes the agendas of its programmers.
Yes.
And it is smart enough to tell you that. I just saw something and I tried it and it worked. Because not too much time passed yet, and where they saw it on social media and I could fix it. But there's a question, if you ask it a question about a little known colonial atrocity that was covered up.
Yeah.
It'll tell you that it never happened. And then if you respond, yes, it did happen, tell me the truth, it'll tell you again that it never happened. When you ask for the 5th or 6th time, then it'll say, okay, you're right. In 1949, da, 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 da. And then when you say, why didn't you tell me when I asked you the first time? It will say, because the widely accepted information out there is this. Well, what is widely accepted information? It's the agenda that has been pushed upon us. It is what they want group thinkers to think. So no, God don't do that.
Hey, yeah,
Your God.
Who God do that?
Not my
Not my Lord.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. You brought on a
That's
guest
AI today.
that
Sorry, techie.
I will pull back.
But much respect for the work that y'all do. I'm not going to say I don't use it. Like,
It's
I know.
helpful.
you know,
helpful.
it wastes tons of water, so I really try not to. No, it's true.
Quite knowledgeable about this. Even
Dude.
knowing if you put certain prompts in, it can do what you want. I will give you that. I will lay back. I will sit back. All I'm saying is, do not underestimate tech. Not. Yeah.
I don't underestimate it at all. That's why I'm scared of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I know what it's about to do.
So then that goes.
And already has done. I mean,
She is quite wise.
No, so that
you know, a lot of the damage that's being done in the wars and atrocities happening on the planet right now are being done more effectively because of AI.
Oh, I know.
Do you know how fast these things can go when there's no human being inside?
Oh, I've seen it.
Do you know how much more damage and destruction that can cause?
Yes.
I have a few friends that work in Google. I'm not gonna name them, of course.
Name.
Oh, you want to fight? They want chaos. They want chaos. Okay. All right.
Because the people.
All right. No, the people know.
Let's just say they have told me certain things that are quite fascinating, and how limited the things that we're using now is compared to what they have. That's why I made a statement earlier, in a sense that, are we creating our own God? Because yes, I know the belief is different. You can say I'm naive, but I still believe AI is made to make humanity at its peak form, close to perfection as possible. Now, that is a very dangerous thing I just said, because it could easily backfire.
Love this ish so much.
Yes.
He loves it.
He's eating it up right now.
But
that's, I mean, imagine, like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for guys like you in tech with that much passion about, you know, creating otherworldly stuff on Earth. Like, I get it. I get the excitement. But it comes with consequences.
I'll give you that.
Just like social media. Social media is a blessing and a curse. And it's one of those things where I've had to discipline myself to say, you know what, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to get off Instagram.
You have a timer on it, a time limit?
I don't have a timer.
It helps. I have it.
What I do now is at a certain time of the day when I'm on Instagram, I'm like, I'm done with it until tomorrow. It was a struggle at first, but then I got to a point where I was like, listen, it'll be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the scrutiny behind social media is terrible in terms of, in one way, it's good because there's information that you get and you can put information out there, but then it's like the negatives when it comes to bullying, when it comes to the violence that's portrayed on social media. Like, what's your take? Being in this industry for as long as you've been in this industry, you've seen a lot. So talk to us about your experiences with social media. Do you feel as though it's needed, we can do without?
I mean, I know we can do without because I was there. I was there before we had it, you know? Yeah. However, you know, think about how much you know about what's happening right now in places in the world where they don't want you to know. Where journalists are no longer being able to enter or have been killed. You know, a lot of that is because of smartphones. On one hand, you know, one of the places suffering the most is Congo.
Yes.
And it's the very same coltan in the phones that is allowing humanity to communicate with each other. You know, people who are on the ground, living the nightmare, reporting to us over here in our beautiful, luxurious lives with these devices.
That is true.
You know, it's always duality. It's always the good with the bad, you know? And there is a lot of beauty in seeing what has been done and what is attempting to be done because people have simply become more aware. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
No, I think you answered it. You answered it perfectly.
Would you all say that every great achievement in life comes with sacrifice?
All of it? I mean,
because what she said, by the way, is spot on. Most of those mines are used, they're children. I know a lot of stuff in Africa that goes on that's horrible. No one pays attention to us. One day, hopefully it changes. But would you say every great achievement in this life of ours comes with horrible sacrifice?
I don't know that it's always horrible sacrifice.
Yes.
I think that...
Okay.
Sacrifice is an interesting word because it can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay. There are stories in many different religions right? In the Bible,
Yeah.
in ancient African pre-colonial traditions, whatever your beliefs, where blood sacrifice was a thing.
Yes. Still
Right?
is.
Why does a grandmother yell after her grandchild as she leaves the house? You're coated in the blood of Jesus. You're coated in the blood. Like, we're talking about sacrifice, right? But then we want to like be like, oh my God, those voodoo people are killing chickens. It's the same thing.
It's just, yeah.
However, a sacrifice could be an offering. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. A sacrifice could be changing. Y'all sacrificed for me today. We got the time wrong, and you were gracious about it. But maybe maybe we would have had a different experience because they would have interrupted us about the car, rather than us being able to start fresh and not be interrupted. So it's a better interview. Like, we never know, what the pros and cons of every little thing that happens in life are. And so when we talk about sacrifice, yeah, I do think there is something to be said about paying dues, but no, I don't think it's necessary to kill people and starve children and have children mining and living in the worst conditions, because these humans were trafficked. Now we get to live in that. No, I don't think the transatlantic enslavement trade / Holocaust was a good thing. Do I enjoy my life here? Yeah, I do very much. But could something like this have been created without evil?
Yes.
I think so.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree.
It's just different versions. There's so many different options. I believe in timelines.
Yes.
I believe in quantum leaping. I just quantum leaped yesterday.
Beautiful.
Guys, I can't tell you the
Beautiful.
details yet because the contract isn't signed, but
soon.
It's
I was just about to
Monday.
say.
Monday.
Like,
Just to be living life and to be aware of this is what this feels like. Oh, it's happening, right? Like, I'm switching lanes. Like, my life is about to be different, right?
okay.
The trajectory.
When did you realize time moves differently for you?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good.
We are very much involved in terms of spirituality. And
Are we staying on? Are we staying on script?
yeah.
Y'all asked me none of the questions. We just got.
I wasn't about that. We're very much
Like you said, it could be a different kind of an interview.
Were we in
because
our
of that.
Because I was like Manny Piol. I was like Manny Piol.
We're very aligned and in tune.
Okay.
When did you realize time moves differently for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to say this.
It's gonna be good.
You gotta put it.
Y'all, listen. I'm forcing myself to do stuff like this because I am a reformed, humble person. Like, I feel like humility and the way that it's forced down people's throats, talented people, pretty girls, Black women, it's this thing where we can't be proud of ourselves. We can't brag. They're going to call us conceited. So I am literally forcing myself, and this is kind of one of the things that we can do in order, to consciously quantum leap is force ourselves to break our habits.
Yeah.
My habit is to not talk about myself. So I'm just prefacing that to say,
Getting us primed and ready. Here we go.
here he comes. Here it is.
Please go.
I'm reminded
Yes.
of the fluidity of time every time I look in the mirror.
I love that. Ooh, I love that. And what is it about the reflection?
Because I don't see it in my face. And people tell me that, and I'm just like, yo. And every time I look at my mother,
Yeah.
my mother's about to be 80 years old. She's like, they carded me on the bus because she didn't think I was 16. And she's 80. You know what I mean? So, it's the genetics, it's the melanin. I don't know. But, time works differently for everyone.
Yes,
For
it does.
some people, it shows up a lot more than other people. That's one little piece of evidence, That's a little, vanity evidence.
Does it depend on how you have lived your life? You know, when I was a kid, your elders would say, don't drink, don't do drugs,
That's true.
because it'll affect you in this way or that way.
Yeah.
We all know that it does impact like your inside as well as your outside. Let's keep it real. So what's your take on that?
Absolutely. My mother never drank, never smoked. Nothing. I am not a purist, you know, like,
You live life.
yo, listen. She just came to me. Okay, I'm sorry. I love you so much. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston.
Yes.
I just got a flash of her in that interview with Diane Sawyer talking about, I mean, I partied, but have you seen that interview?
I seen it. Is that you talking about the one when
Where she's like, do you know?
is that the one when she said
Thank you.
crack is whack or something? No,
Crack is whack. Thank you. Anyway, sorry.
You played Whitney, so you got her down to a T. I got her down to a T.
I love her so much. But, you know, that's, yeah.
Something that you said early on that I want to quickly revisit, and it really triggered me in a way. You said that early on in your career, you did things, and I'm paraphrasing, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you said, you know, if there could have been pushback. I want to ask you, having a career as a model, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, you said your birth work. Okay, I want to make sure I'm getting it correct.
Get it correct.
Yeah.
I got you.
If you push back in this industry, do you believe you can and will be reprimanded for doing so?
Yeah. What do you mean by pushback exactly?
Pushback meaning if you're offered a certain role, you're going to respectfully decline it. Or if your agent
I don't
is
know
saying,
that there are consequences for that unless your agent is just not a nice person or not interested in knowing you and understanding you, which is part of their job, to know you and understand you.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. How are they going to be able to match you up with the right projects if they don't care what makes you different from the next melanated person on the list? Yeah. You have to be a whole person, and you have to have a relationship with them.
Good point. Yeah.
The other thing too is about the time and aging. I don't think it's just physical things either. It's not just drinking and smoking. It's energetic too. If you're really stressed out, that will age you. If you are unhappy, if you are with people who don't love and respect you, that will age you. You know, I have had times in my life that were so heavy. And even though structurally, if you look at a picture from that time, I might look younger because I was. There's something about it that makes me look older because it was a heaviness in my spirit. And I just showed my child a video, right? So he's going to be 12. So it was a 13-year-old video of me pregnant on set of a movie called And So It Goes with Diane Keaton and Michael Douglas. And I played their pregnant neighbor. And I was actually pregnant, and they padded me up a little bigger so I could have a birthing scene in real life. She was 9 months. She's on the couch screaming her head off, and Michael Douglas saves the day. And it's just ridiculous. The same old births that we've seen. It's just like, it's the worst pain ever. I'm just screaming. I'm a victim, right? And I remember, because I was so conscious about, like, when I was pregnant, I was on meditation retreats, okay? I was like, I refused to watch certain movies that were violent. I wouldn't even wait online because I didn't want to get annoyed. I just was like, the world you're coming into is amazing. And so I, was very, like, protective. And during this movie, I remember telepathically letting him know, it is not going to be like this. It's only a movie, And then recently I was looking for some old pictures, came across the video, and I said, yo, come here, look at this. I was talking about you in the womb. We were doing a movie, and I was telling you that. And he was like, oh, that's cool. Mama, why do you look so mature?
Okay.
13 years ago, you think I look he's like, you look like a teenager now, but then you're like, and I didn't. I looked way younger then in the video, but he was tapped into the heaviness. Even though I was protecting him, I wasn't in in an ideal situation, let's just say. And so, yeah, he saw that, and that energy, that heaviness ages you. Yeah. And so you can reverse it by taking care of yourself, by eating live foods, by exercising, by meditating, by laughing more, by being around children. Literally, they will rub off on you.
Energy is contagious.
It is.
Energies are contagious. I recently, a few years ago, I stopped doing beef. I stopped doing pork. It was a challenge for me, but because I didn't like the way it made me feel when I was eating it. And a friend of mine said, let's do this challenge. I said, look, I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, but because going to New York, I loved New York style pizza, and I was always getting pepperoni pizza. Always getting pepperoni. I'm a pepperoni guy. But then I said, you know what? Instead of pepperoni, I'll just do mushrooms.
Oh.
Yeah. And from there, literally, it's a place in New York called Love Pizza.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing to me.
It's better than Coronet on 110th and Broadway?
I don't know.
Yo, you gotta get on that one train. You gotta get on that one train. You gotta get you in town.
Wait, Yaya, where are you from?
I'm from Harlem.
So Yaya knows where the good pizza is. Might not be in Midtown. Might not be in Midtown.
Get to you if I say you're from Manhattan.
No, I don't care. I'm from Manhattan.
You're from Manhattan?
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Harlem,
which is uptown.
but it's in Manhattan. It's a part of Manhattan. And I am from Manhattan. I did go to school in elementary school, Upper West Side, so right below Harlem. But some people from Harlem and never leave Harlem.
Yes.
So they're much more Harlem than me. I'm Harlem, but not as Harlem as some.
Got you. Medium Harlem. You medium. I guess the rest is hard Harlem. Like, whoa.
I think it depends on the day. Like sometimes when I go home, visit family, I'll be somewhere and someone's like, oh, you have an accent. Where are you from? London? I'm like, where do you get that from? Like, you just letting me know that I don't sound like you.
Yeah.
You letting me know that I've traveled. Okay, I don't.
They put you far away,
or they put me in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
You from Jamaica?
Right. They're like, they think I'm from the Caribbean, which I do have a grandmother from the Caribbean, so.
They just put you a long place away from Harlem, and you be like, hold on. Wait, nah, I'm home.
Yeah, but it's
well
true,
traveled.
It's true though. I don't speak all the time like Harlem. Just when I'm
Got you.
hype.
Talking about that and representation, even in your career, have you seen a change in representation for Black women or women of color, or even yourself personally, from where you started as to where you are?
Yeah, of course. We all have seen it. We've seen it. It's still happening. It's still unfolding. I'll say that it's nice to see projects where the lead is highly, highly melanated.
Yes.
I agree.
And education.
She's not just like the best friend with a few lines, but she's the one. Yeah. She's the ingenue. She's the queen. I love that.
The it girl.
The it girl. Okay. Also, one of my platforms, I guess, even unintentionally in the beginning, because I was one of the first natural hair people, on TV, modern TV, right? I'm not talking about the 70s, but it's coming back. And in the beginning, it was a big deal. And now it's not.
I've noticed that.
Now it's everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like, that is incredible to have witnessed, because it was in the beginning very lonely, showing up on set and having no one understand you or even think that there was, what your concerns were valid. Like, it's not that big a deal. Just, whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not. You know, you guys spend so much money and time on her highlights and his haircuts, and like, we deserve to be taken care of as well. So now it's not just what you see in front of the camera, but it's also, there are more people who know what they're doing behind the camera.
Yes.
There are more people, you know, Black women who know how to work with textured hair, and men, like, who are getting into the unions.
Yes.
That's been one of my main missions, you know, because I have a stylist I've been working with since 2007. She did my weave for Ugly Betty. She did my, basically my hair for Chicago Met, everything. Like, she would prep me before I would go, and then the people on set wouldn't really have to do anything. And then I would just tweak stuff, you know, in my trailer. And then at a certain point, I was like, this gotta stop. And I know I wasn't the only one doing it. A lot of us did that. And I was like, it's so unfair that the people actually doing our hair are not getting the credit. Because the jobs in the, you know, on movie sets and TV shows make more than, you know, it's like, I'm just going to your salon once, and then they're getting paid for your work every day for a whole 22 season show. And their name is on TV and you don't get any credit. That's gotta stop.
I agree.
You know
Representation.
what I mean? So now I, you know, have been able to unlock my throat chakra, speak up for myself, and request and at times demand support. And in my last couple of jobs, I've been able to have her be on set with me as part of my contract, you know, and now she's like, you know, she's in both unions, and like, it's just not enough people are doing that. We just have been so used to like going along or doing our own hair, fixing it in the bathroom, you know.
I appreciate you for that.
For you,
it's
I
important.
remember and being in New York, going to set, and I always go with my hair braided now. I'll get it cut wherever I can get it cut at. But I'll go with it braided. And I remember when I was at the show, they said, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with his hair? And I looked, and I was like, they didn't look like me. And I was like, I'm good. It's already done. But they was like, no. The lady said, well, we can just gel it down. I was like, but I'm already braided. Like, I had cornrows at the time.
always the first.
She was like, we can just gel them up. And the girl pulled me aside, and she said, don't let them touch your hair. And I looked at her, and I said, oh, I wasn't going to let them touch my hair. I said,
But it's a very real thing.
it was very real.
Very real
and
thing, because
they honestly did not know what to do. I think they was looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and I was like, I'm
The
ready.
standoff.
I'm good. So
I've had many standoffs.
Yeah.
Or just people saying, oh no, don't worry, I've got it. Like, I know what I'm doing, because they went to school, right? And they got it. And maybe there was like, in all of the, you know, months of schooling, there might have been a day
Just one.
on an Afro kinky wig, but the wig doesn't behave like virgin hair, so it's a little bit different, you know? And so you just got to say, like, hey, I don't want to be difficult. And this goes back to your question about, like, does rejecting roles come with consequences? Sometimes things can follow you. You know, I showed up on set of one job, and the lady, after the end of the second day, she was like, you are such a sweetheart. I was like, thank you. She's like, yeah, I don't know what they were talking about. And I was like, who was that?
about you, like, no, I
Not Yaya.
So, but what she said was that a friend of hers had worked with me on another project, and that I was difficult. And I said, please tell me who it was. And when she told me who it was, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because he was from the old school and knew how to do wigs. He didn't know how to do natural hair. We were shooting in a very, very humid place, and everything was constantly reverting. And it was just like, my hair was breaking. It was bad. Like after every take, he wanted me to go back and like put the flat iron again. I was like, you're gonna cut my hair off with this heat. So then I saw this lady who was doing the extras, she was doing all the background, and they were looking, I mean, all the extras' hair was so fly. And I was like, who is she? Can she do my hair? So the director was like, actually, he looked around, he looked at my hair, he was like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense, and moved her to the main trailer. And his feelings were so hurt. And so, yes, you know, it's not the truth, right? But anyone's interpretation of something that's happening can follow you if you don't know about it, or if you don't like do the repair with that person.
Yeah.
I didn't know enough then to go to him and say, hey, I know you're doing your best. I'm really sorry, but I just would feel more comfortable if she did my hair instead. Like, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was just like, I don't know, I was scared. But that's something that if I had done, like, maybe he would have been okay.
Yeah.
And he would have been talking smack about me.
That's right, not about you. Because I've seen it as well, and I've been a part of it, to where it's happened to me as well, traveling for different runway events. First thing they want the guys to do, no, you don't need makeup. You don't need anything.
Oh, yeah.
You're on the runway.
They say that a lot.
But that's-
Yeah,
that's-
Take your shirt
it's-
off, put on some oil.
Yeah, they just want to see chest and things, that we're showing today.
Yeah.
But,
Some things.
and some things.
I mean, obviously, you want to see it too. I mean, you guys, like, you guys,
Well, my experience is I've always been told I don't have the body type. Like, I've always been told, like, no, I've been told,
Really?
like, that I have more of a European cut, that I would do better in Europe than I would here because, like, we want to see some muscles and,
Society.
and colorism is real too. So those are things that
Well, yeah, I mean, your skin is brown, so you have to have even more muscles.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Logically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no complaints. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, from my experience in doing it,
It's
when I
so
walk into a
silly.
room with locks, especially,
Yeah.
and I see them grab combs and gel and brushes that aren't correct, a lot of the time I don't. Yeah, don't laugh. I don't. They can laugh, they're excused, but you don't laugh. You don't laugh. But when you go into those rooms and you see those things, it's almost like that horror movie, like.
Yeah, of course.
And you're like, no, those aren't the things to do to my
Yeah.
natural hair.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I have adopted having my hairstylist do my hair before I report out the country to work. But I would love to get into that place where we don't have to, or like you said, making it regular and normal. That person's in the contract and they're traveling with me. They're part of the budget at this point because your production isn't equipped. And that's okay for now. But if we could work towards educating and actually not having just one day of natural hair care, but maybe a nice good course.
It's happening. It's happening.
And I see
I
that.
actually recently went to a dinner thrown by Black Beauty Roster, and Maud and like the whole team over there are doing such great work, and that's their mission, is to educate so that these moments of
Marvelous. Yeah.
happen less and less.
Yeah, and it does help too that my hairstylist has shown me how to maintain my own locks. So in between that, I style and do my own hair, but I still make sure that when there's a production, even if I get the runway pictures back and everybody else is tagged, I always do tag and put her mention up too. But there was a gentleman on set that had locks with me when I was in Europe as well.
Yeah.
And they really didn't know what to do with my hair. And I was like, I got it. I'm going to figure it out. But then to teach and to help him with his. And I was like, even if I'm not at that place to teach and show you, if you're looking at me like, hey, what do I do with my hair? I'm going to help you because we're in the same boat at this point, But if that's something that should be put into practice and should be done more often for everybody all around the board, but because it's more of whether it's a European or whatever they want the hair slick back in gel, everybody's hair isn't like that. And I appreciate that you said, look, I don't mean to hurt no feelings, but you got to make sure you right too. You can't just show up somewhere and it'd be like,
And that's the hard
you look
thing.
busted. It's like, no.
Like, people don't even stay anymore for the credits.
Yeah.
So no one knows who to blame. They just blame us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just look at me like, she looked this, yo.
Yeah.
You saw her in that movie, she looked busted.
Yes.
And then they
Yeah.
judge me. They don't look at like,
And
who
you
did
like,
her
I
hair?
didn't-
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right. Yeah.
it
I am
really
aware.
does. I would say really does help out in the sense of I'm on the other side, because most of the time when we go to like a New York Fashion Week or some of the other ones, they are with me and they know. I call it my honesty. They just say I am different. So they tend to, as soon as something comes up, they're like, oh, no, we got Felicia right here. Him, especially. Like, no, he will have a touch up. And so I've never gone through it. So most of the shows I go to, I'm with these two. So I never go through it. So from hearing it from you guys' point of view, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense now why he stepped in. And because most of them, I'm like, yo, why you cock blocking, bro? Like, why? But now that I see, I'm like, oh, they know if they say something different to me, I'm quick to be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. why would you put gel in my hair? Do I look so and so? Because I'm so honest. And I'm like, no. Like, have you ever seen like a black dude putting gel in their hair? Why would you put gel in my hair? So, but then they're quick to say, oh no, we got 4 days, and Keith would just, okay, it's fine. You know, this is not a boxing ring. Don't hit no one. Like, yeah, it's fine. And then we just go out and do it. And I'm like, hey, bye guys. And they're like, oh, he's quite friendly. But in truth, I always have these guys next to me to either just cushion things, or I've had you guys from like past that have paved the road for me. So now I just have to walk right through it instead of going through a lot of so it really does help.
Yeah.
It really, 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 really does help.
Yeah.
And having people such as yourself, like seeing you coming up in this industry, and I would always go, Yaya is natural, but she's very authentic and true to who she is.
Yes.
I don't, and you may know, or maybe sometimes we're not always aware, you're inspiring not only young women, but young men that are coming up who are always told you have to be like this, you have to be like that, because oftentimes we're marginalized. So I want to say I appreciate the fact that we do have people such as yourself who we look at, and sometimes they'll say, this is what a model should look like, but you actually showed us what a model actually is. So that, that goes a long way.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
And I want to ask you, with that being said, how do you hold on to your integrity and your humility in an industry that can be cutthroat at times, and where there are a lot of no's, or sometimes you have to cut either corners to get where you want to go, or you have to be cutthroat to other people? Well, not you, I'm just speaking in general. But how do you maintain who you are?
Well, thank you for that. This is not a very helpful answer, but I don't know that I really had a choice. Like, it was so ingrained in me growing up in a household where being proud to be Black was breathing air. Like it, I went to white schools except for junior high school was pretty mixed, but for the most part, I went to a Montessori school on the Upper West Side that my mother taught at, so we all could go there. And then before she started her own, then I went to junior high school for a couple years, and that was like kind of like a magnet public school, but it was more mixed. But then, or mixed, diverse, whatever, English. And then, I'm like, that's not the word. Then I went to boarding school in Massachusetts in the middle of nowhere. Okay. In the woods.
There in the boonies.
In the trees.
Yeah.
Okay. These kids had snowboards.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We were going down the hills in the winter. They had, and there were some international students who were like princesses. And I mean, everybody was up in there. And I'm like, scholarship student from Harlem, like, wow.
Yes.
And I never wanted to be like anybody else.
Yes.
There was never, I didn't even hear invitations to conform. I was so swept up in being like, yeah, I'm from Harlem. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, you like my afro? Okay. Yeah, there were girls that would come to me in high school, freshman year. I was 13 years old, cutting their hair because they wanted to go natural. This is before being public. This is just who I always was. You know what I mean? And like doing hair and teaching people, like, sharing my products. Like, it's nothing changed. It just was amplified, like I was literally, and sometimes I think, like, I've been doing all this work and I'm becoming this, this person that I, I'm really proud of. And then something happens, like the Los Angeles fires. Yeah. And my house was fine, but I did evacuate. I packed up, realized, like, okay, these are the things that are important to me. I packed up, I've journaled for most of my life. Mm-hmm. So I had like a suitcase full of journals. And, sometimes you look at pages and I was like, oh my gosh, what year was that? I wrote that? Golly, how did I... like I knew so much. I just didn't always trust myself. I just didn't always follow my intuition. Sometimes I just liked playing dangerous games, but I knew better. I have proof.
Do you?
I believe Yaya answered my question from earlier too about how did you know time moved differently for you, and you've re-answered it a second time for me spiritually just now, because when Antoine asked you that question about you, I can't go all the way back to it. I'm not going to go all the way back to it, but to me, the words that came were just be. You've always just been you, and everything. The law of attraction has placed everything in your favor because you've always just been you. You did not conform. You did not change. You did not restrict. You were you. You were Yaya DaCosta. You were her. You are the it girl. You are and still are the it girl.
It girl.
Thank you.
And with that being said, when he asked that question, in my mind, I was like, she is explaining all of this with these beautiful words.
Right.
This remarkable sister in front of me just was and just is. She's current. She's relevant. Check her out. But the words that came to me was just be. And I was like, wow, that's something that I've always told other people.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the words as I was younger to describe how I felt and why it made me be set apart from people and situations, and why things don't stick to me, because I am the magnet. Like, I am the sauce. I am the energy. I am eternal. So for you to say that, and I was like, teaching them in Massachusetts, right? Teaching them in Massachusetts. I'm from Harlem, doing your thing, and you're so proud to be who you are. And then your son looking at them like, oh, you were older. And it's just like, that was the energy. And like you said, that's transferable, but it was a heavier period. And now those things are light. You got your shoulders out here in Los Angeles. You got your crystals on. Like, the hair is up high. The neck, jawline is strong.
And very confident, by the way. Very confident.
But it's like you are just
in.
being. You are you, you know? And I appreciate like hearing you say that. And I was like, no, that's something that's up to, she just is who she is. She just be. She's just being.
And because
that is awesome. That is so warm.
Yeah.
it's warm, and because you are who you are, you're helping us be more of who we need to be for ourselves. So, you know, like when you walked in the room, I was like, she walked in with confidence. Like,
Yeah.
it was contagious.
It was a smile.
No, but it was contagious though.
The
She
energy.
walked in and I just felt the energy,
The energy.
because oftentimes we look at ourselves and we don't view ourselves the way that others view us. So when you walked in the room, I was a little bit like nervous. I was like, should I give her a hug or should I shake her hand? But you were just so confident, so warm and welcoming. And it just made us feel like, wow, we are important, you know? Of course you are. Not to say that we're not, but in this industry, you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly,
what
the
it is.
indifferent. So oftentimes you go, you know, like, am I doing a good job? Am I doing enough or not enough? And you came in and you were just very gracious. So I want to add, you're very welcome. Would like to ask you, what made you want to become, when I say a model, an artist, an entertainer in general, a leader, a teacher, what made you want to become those things?
So it's interesting because when you were speaking before about like using all these words, right? It reminded me of part of why, I mean, people don't realize this, but I modeled for 3 years. After the third year, I left. I left the agency. And I was mostly I did a little runway, but I was mostly doing commercial, you know, like, what do you call those places? Kohl's and
Department stores and
It was like
I did some Sephora, like
Okay.
their pamphlets and whatever. You know what I mean? It wasn't like high fashion, right? And it was amazing because I was the first one in my friend group to pay off my college loans from Brown University, and that was from them catalogs, okay? It wasn't from off-Broadway, okay? So grateful. But then after a while, it was like, it just was so uncomfortable. And people were not receptive to someone who had words,
Yeah.
okay? Why are you talking?
Yeah.
Stand over there, right? Then talking about you, right? You're right there, but it's like she this, she that. It's never addressed, like nothing's ever to you. And I felt dehumanized at times. I felt like a voiceless hanger. You know what I mean? It was like, just put the clothes on. And they didn't really fit that well anyway, right? Because that was before this wave of like acceptance around curves, you know, at the time. Even though I was like a lot thinner, I still had, you know, curves. And like they were not, you know, things weren't zipping on the side. They were not happy with that. And it just felt like, once somebody told me to lose weight, and I was like, oh, this is dangerous.
Wow.
I was like, this is scary. Because I was in high school, I was a peer mediator and a dorm head in my senior year. And I counseled girls with eating disorders. Like, and I was seeing people, you know, at the agency who were not well, you know, and then they were doing other activities, you know, and it was just a crazy time, you know, and I don't know what it's like now, but I know that they still don't have a union. I know that. I know that there's money that a lot of them don't see. You know, I was traveling for a film festival and turned on the TV in Spain. In my hotel room and saw my Oil of Olay commercial. And I was like, oh, they never gave me residuals for this. I had to call my agent. She was like, oh, it's international. I was like, I just saw it. It was it was so trippy. But that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, they got away with a lot.
Other shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Because nowadays, if you see your commercial,
and now everybody's on the, you know, they would, somebody would post it and tag you. Now you would know, right? But this is like before social media. So yeah. So anyway, that didn't last very long because it didn't feel like it was in integrity. And at a certain point, you know, that I was doing so many jobs. I was waitressing, hostessing, getting home at 4 a.m. or so, and then having an audition at 9 a.m., being tired, not performing my best. I was like, I don't think I can do all of this at the same time. You know, I was teaching at my mom's school and doing all this stuff. And I was like, I think it's time to commit and finally have the bravery to say, what do they say at the SAG Awards? I am an actor. Like,
that's right.
It took so long for me to even just say that, even once I was working, because it was like, oh, I got lucky, you never know. Da, 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 da. Like my first movie, Take the Lead, was a dance movie. Right out the bat, like I was so blessed, and it was a lead role.
Yes,
that doesn't happen, you know, like. You do this part, maybe you get a line, then, you know, or maybe you do background, then you get a speaking role, then you move your way up. Like, those are the stories that I heard. I went out and I was like, oh, I'm Lorette? Oh, wow. And I get to dance? That was like the best of both worlds at the time, you know? It was, so I think it just, in terms of...
You just reminded me of Naturi Norton.
I love Naturi.
You said that, because I remember 30W and Power. I don't know why I was going to say the Cheetah Girls. I'm thinking 30W, but I know that, But she would always reference how her skin color was always an issue. But what I always respected about her was she always stood firm in who she is. And she was like, I'm a dark-skinned girl. I wear it proudly. Yeah. So you saying that, she just instantly popped up in my head.
Yes. And look at her career. I mean, I saw her on Broadway in Hairspray.
She was Little Inez, right?
I don't remember the character name, but and we have so many mutual friends. Well, back when I was doing, you know, off Broadway, we were in the theater world together back in the day, and just seeing her evolution is just like, it just makes me so proud.
I'm proud of her.
And she's another one, absolutely true to herself, absolutely proud, absolutely beautiful. You know, I think it just. Oh, I'm sorry. Stop making a vibration.
It's all right.
Okay. Yeah, the thing is, you know, your question about like it being, you said something about it being not cutthroat, but you were like something about like having to do something to cut in front of somebody else.
Yeah, it's like
that mentality is like so like icky to me. I'm just like, ew.
Is it a stereotype?
I think it used to be more like that. I don't know, but from what I hear about the generation right above me, there was more of this sense of like, there's room for one of us.
Yeah.
And people did that too. Even when I was coming up, they were like, oh, you're the next, Halle Berry. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm me,
Yes.
And now there's there's me, there's Tika, there's Nicole, there's, Notori. There's, I mean, I can't even say the names. I'm like, but Lord, I can't spit them out fast enough. There's so many beautiful actors, Kiki, and then the other Kiki, and then right. There's so many amazing women who are working, who are on their path, who are getting everything that is meant for them. And I think that's the key. It's like, you are free when you realize that you're not in control, and that your path is yours specifically, and that the things that are for you can't miss you.
Because
know what I mean?
If it misses you, then it was never for you.
I do believe that. I really do. Now, I know that there are different ways to be an artist and a freelancer, right? An actor for hire.
Yeah.
You can go to an audition, send in a tape, you can give it to your agent, and then you can forget about it, right? Because it's so stressful to think about. And I can't.
It is, yeah.
Or you could give it to your agent, and then you could call her the next day. Did the casting director watch it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you make sure they watch it? Thank you. Did the casting director send it to the director? The next day. They did? Okay, what did they say? Did they have any feedback? Oh, okay. Like, there's someone who's involved in the process, who's involved in the business, and, there are people who go above and beyond. It doesn't happen so much anymore, but like back in the day, people used to jump through hoops to get roles, right? So what's for you can't miss you, and also sacrifice is a thing, right?
Yes.
So my sacrifice for the job that I just got, I'm so excited, was like following the steps.
Yes.
I had the first tape, and then 4 separate Zoom sessions, and then a phone call. You know what I'm saying? Like, people still audition 5 and 6 times for things and have conversations and try new things and right? Like, sometimes we just walk away. But if you're persistent and you're like, no, okay, let me try it like this, or, just being malleable and having fun and being free. But it takes like a sense of centeredness to do that. And I think this is the answer to your question, finally.
Hang back around.
You're good.
Tangent queen. But it's about knowing yourself, taking care of yourself, loving yourself.
That part.
Right? If you don't have if you're not healthy and you don't like yourself, like, you can't show up in the way you need to show up. A lot of the people who are successful, who you may not think are the most talented in the world, are because they believe their hype. And because they believe it so much, everyone else believes it.
That's
true.
That is actually, that's 100%. Yeah. Let's get back
Confidence.
Let's get back to that. Confidence, as well as people knowing you. So I have quite this issue where people know me more of like either in a boxing ring, or they know me here as more playing a villain in this scene. Very few people know me as like, oh, the tech guy, or the guy who travels around that, go to museums and stuff like that. Most people don't even know that I'm from like a decent middle class family. Like, I'm not from that side of life. It's been very good. So in your sense, what are you passionate about that is very much underrated in terms of people not seeing it?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, we've already spoken about, which is birth. The birth culture. I think it's really, it is being talked about. It's just being talked about in certain communities. It's like this niche topic. It's not, there's an article every once in a while in the news, and then it kind of fizzles, but there's not enough talk to actually like force policies to change, especially now, so, at the time when everyone was screaming BLM,
yes,
it became really popular to like pass around trauma porn, right? Oh, look at this video. Oh, look at what happened. Oh, look at what happened, right? And while it was terrible to see, and it's not healthy to, to see reflections of ourselves in that way, it was also helpful because it galvanized a movement, right? I look at that and the passion that people were, majority Black men being targeted and killed by police in the streets of so many cities around this country and world, but this country. And like, I don't know, but some of us have questioned that we're talking about Black men. And here's all this passion, but when it's Black women who are dying, not at the hands of police, but at the hands of doctors, because these are preventable deaths.
Yes.
And the World Health Organization admitted it. It's like, it's when it's us. We don't get the same attention. We're not getting the same passion. We're not getting the same outrage. Where's the movement? So that's the answer. That's the thing that I wish were talked about more. And that's, part of the reason that I'm doing so much on the advocacy level and on the ground up, like actually training midwives, because that is the solution, and the World Health Organization, not just me saying it. It's not just the granny midwife. It's not just my teachers saying it. It's the World Health Organization saying, actually, in order to save this many millions of lives by, in the next 5 years, we need almost 1 million more midwives in this country, and they need to be trained now. So that's the thing. That's the hot topic.
Yes. Yeah. When it comes to ground up, and that's beautiful that you also have a program from the ground up. Could you talk a bit about your Masterclass?
Yes. So
love to hear about it, because you're dropping gems and we appreciate it.
So I, one of the things that one of my teachers that I mentioned before, ancestor now, Malidoma Somé, one of the things that he told me was that I would be teaching. And I come from teachers, so I was like, okay, I've taught little things here and there, but on a much bigger scale. And so I didn't know until, a few years later what that meant. And recently I made a video as an offering to the public, as an offering to people, because not everybody knows me from Top Model, America's Next Top Model. Some people know me from, the different work that I've done as an actor. But there are a lot of people who immediately, it's like there's a few demographics that I just know. I can even tell before they say anything. I can tell by the way they look at me. I'm like, you're a top model for that. Yeah, okay. And there's just been, after so many years of just like kind of not talking about it, because I felt, in the beginning of my acting career, doing reality TV was like a big no-no.
Yes.
There was a huge stigma about it. Nobody knew. I think the 3 different directors told me. It was John Sayles on Honey Dripper, Liz Friedlander, and the producer Diane Nabatoff on Take the Lead. And I think maybe Rock Dutton Racing for Time, that they found out because like the kids that we were working with told them while we were on set or at the rap party. And they were like, is this true? And I was like, I just thought everybody knew. I was like, yeah. They're like, I don't know that I would have cast you if I had known. And I was like, which is so crazy because everyone thinks it's the opposite. They're like, oh, you're on TV and that translates. But in 2005, it was a little bit different, right? And so I just got used to not talking about it, okay? But I knew that like there was something to say. I just didn't know what it was yet. So I was like, I'm not just going to talk to talk. But then when this encounter happened, I went to Essence Black Women in Hollywood. Tyra gave a speech, which wasn't on the program, and I didn't know. No one knew about it. And so I went to the bathroom during the speech, and all these women who were there when I came back were like, where were you? We were looking for you to like take your lead. Like, what do we do? Like, do we stand? Do we clap? Do we sit back? I was like, what are you talking about? That's so weird. Like, of course you clap. But, oh, y'all think that like after 20 years, like we're holding on to like attitudes because of, and listen, I've been made so aware by comments, right, on that post through social media that there are different schools of thought around this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There are the people who are like, because of that, then this, like, because you did that, then this is the result. So because you are where you are because of that. And I'm like, okay, that's one way to think about it. Right. Yeah. And then some people who may practice more spirituality in their lives, who may have like a relationship with words like destiny or divine plan or faith, right? They know that there's like a lot of other stuff that goes on in terms of like manifesting the opportunities that we get in life. And sometimes it's not linear. Sometimes it's not A to B, right? So, and it's hard to really know all the time, right? But there is definitely one of those schools who thought that, because of a poor edit that my character received, because of whatever they heard, right? That like, we should have attitudes. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. And in fact, I just like spoke to her for the first time in like 21 years. Well, it's actually the second time, but the first time I was a whole other. This is a very.
This is a new time.
Yeah. It was the old timeline, which is like, I was like, it would be funny to tell that story, but like, if I tell that, then it kind of defeats the purpose of telling the new story, right? We're choosing a new reality, right? This is why we're timeline jumping. We're choosing like healing. We're choosing positivity, right? And so, yes, the old story was crazy and offensive, but that's for my friends to know. This story was absolutely incredible. And there's no way that it was not orchestrated. Like, there was no one else there in the room. I went to the photo booth. It was like the size of, it was a little bigger than this room. She was in the photo booth. No one else was there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is us. And we had a great conversation. And then when I went back into the room and I was talking to these women and telling them about it, like, I was like, I think it's important to share, because if they're saying that, then other people are probably thinking that too, And so I was like, okay. And this is something that I said in the introduction of the class, was like, they said they want to follow my lead, but where am I leading them to? I have to decide. And once I posted the video, the feedback was just so beautiful. And there were so many. It took me a long time to get through all the DMs, and most of them were basically saying, like, how did you do it? I want to know more. Help me. I'm dealing with this in my life. I can not just hear what you're saying, but I can see, like, and feel, like, the glow, the levity in your spirit. I can tell that you've been doing the work, and I can see that it works, and I want to know, and I want you to share. And I was like, oh snap, this is what he was talking about. Okay. So let me film something, because going on Instagram Live and sharing feels unsafe.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
I personally am not. I'm highly sensitive. I can't deal with all the negativity.
Because they're just coming at you.
No, all the time.
All the time. And I don't even read stuff like, you'd be surprised how much I like delete stuff, block people. I'm just like, clearing it out.
That's right. Clear
it. And because I'm like, this is not
real.
how I want to engage with people.
Yeah.
But it still just felt like too much of a risk. So I said, I'm just going to do a separate thing, package it. And then I know that anyone who's actually like, who wants it and is going to pay for it, that means they're invested.
Yes.
And that they are my people. And that there are some, they think that this conversation is important. And, they'll have the patience, because a lot of people are like, that video was 13 minutes long. Ain't nobody got time for that. And I'm like, well, the class is an hour. So it's not real.
So if you can't do 13 minutes, then
the class is not for you then.
Yeah. It's actually longer than that. It's 5 acts. Okay. And then the 6th one is a live on Zoom, not on Instagram. Yeah. It's in a private space, right? So like, it's amazing to have just channeled it and said, okay, this is what's being asked of me. Let me step forward and to do it. And then to be like writing it and seeing all of the different ways that things actually do intersect. and they do make sense together, right? Like,
Correct.
I'm talking about things that I learned from acting, you know, that you can use in real life to improve your relationships with yourself, with others, to be healthier, to be more sovereign, you know what I mean? To be able to do a role, for example, and leave it at the studio and leave it on stage instead of having it stick to you and make you sick, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I talk a lot about in the class is because, you know, as artists, which I talked about, right? You asked me about the spiritual side of it. We are vessels, and we are lending the vessels to stories, personalities, you know, emotions.
Yes.
And sometimes it's very heavy. And if you let it stick, it can affect you because the body doesn't know the difference. I keep talking about this, but it's just so fascinating to me, you know, and that's why the self-care is so important when you are devoting yourself to other people's words, other people's stories.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's almost like something else is taking over your body. You have to slowly let it out later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do it. I don't know about slow. I do it quick.
Quick.
Because I don't
slow.
take it home every day after. So I'm like, cut. Okay, that's a wrap.
Yeah. You have to
I do
learn
my
that,
energy,
Yeah.
my energetic. You know what I'm saying? I cleanse. Then I go home. I take a shower. Me and water. We got a thing. It's okay. That's it. Right? Like it's quick because otherwise you're gonna take it out on your people.
Yeah. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that for certain movie roles that I've done.
Yes. Has it happened?
Some that when we talked about the repercussions of not accepting certain roles, there is a point now where I have made it my mission to not accept certain roles that were so derogatory, because playing either an abusive person on camera or playing the drug addict and having to dive into those roles, I found myself being a bit darker because to portray them on camera, doing cocaine and other things and watching videos, but then to study that, to master it so that you watch it and you believe that this is who I am portraying, it was heavy for me to take home. And I had to watch what I say because I want to make sure that my I am realizes that this is a conversation, because those roles are very real and they're very heavy. So I appreciate that you said that, and you've learned to do it quick. Nip it in the bud, zap it.
Actually really cool.
And cleanse
Yeah,
it, keep
take
it
a page
moving.
out your book.
But it's beautiful that
But-
you've turned and learned to teach that to other people too. And I am so grateful that you are there, if anything, bridge.
Well, because you can use these tools in real life.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know, you work in
is true.
in corporate, and you know Maggie down the way,
Yeah.
like stole your project or misinterpreted something you said or is talking about you. You know what I mean? Whatever the issue is, you can prepare yourself, right? Take care of yourself even before having a conversation with someone so that you're shielded. You're ready for whatever. No one's going to like throw you off because you've already done what your work. So you can show up, right? You've already, you know, we talk a lot about in the class creative visualization. You already saw the outcome, right? So you already know it's gonna go your way.
Yep.
Like you already know that like nothing that they can do can really hurt you. It's like, this is not, you know, our parasympathetic nervous systems get like worked up as though we're like back in the jungle and there's a tiger coming, when really it's just someone who said something that you didn't like. And we have to learn to tell our minds and our bodies like, that I'm safe. This is not a real threat. It's just my ego responding, and take care of it. Love on it. People always talk about, you know, kill the ego. I love my ego. Because it's not going anywhere. If you try to ignore it, that's where it gets you into trouble. You know?
I
It's a
agree.
balance.
From that perspective.
I agree.
It's a
Never
balance.
looked at it from that perspective.
I agree.
You have to have like an understanding
It's a dance
of the
like
different
you
parts
said.
of
Have you
yourself.
guys ever fallen in love with a different selves of you, like in terms of performance? Because like I'm
That's a beautiful question.
I'm putting that in equivalent to like again I spent a lot of my time, I'm a professional fighter, so it's not the same people Like me and then me out here are completely different people.
You in the ring.
Yeah. It's more like a I would say it's a beautiful savage in there because it's still an art form. While out here, it's far more softer. I complain a lot. I'm lazy. You know what I mean? I'm spoiled. But it's completely two different people. So in a sense, I love both sides of myself. Do you guys love both sides of every character you portray? Or...
That's such a good question. So one of the things another acting coach of mine, Diana Castle, says is that you can't judge your characters and think you're going to play them well.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's the drug addict or the violent, you know, whatever. You have to justify, you have to know that everything, and this is tough for people to swallow, whether it's for art or real life, that everyone is always doing the best they know how. That every decision that they make is to get a need met. It doesn't mean they're making decisions that align with your values. Doesn't mean that you know, that we agree. But if you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and try to figure out their why, you know, and just keep asking. Why? Why did they, you know, kill this person? Oh, because they stole their car. Why? Why do they? Why? And keep just probing until you get to the real juicy stuff underneath, right? And that is where you can fall in love with your character because those needs are universal. You've had those needs. You know, you can understand.
That's what it is when you play different characters or versions of yourself, understanding. Because we look at these characters and go, I would never. That's not how I live my life. But even though you don't live your life in that capacity, learning who the person is and understanding why they ended up where they are goes back to the beginning. Even if we overlook what their beginning was, you'll understand their ending, or if not their ending, where they are in current day. And a lot of that is contributed to mental health. When you talked about your masterclass, it's helping people heal and deal with things that they sweep under the rug. Because we don't talk about, in our community, mental health is stigmatized in a lot of ways. And we got to stop putting a stigma on it. And we got to deal with it. So that's the one takeaway that I'm taking away from you today, Yaya, is it's okay. Because I'm big on mental health. It's like one of my passions. And if we can just learn to be more understanding, then we won't always be so quick to respond.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
So what you're doing is it's immaculate, and I applaud you for it. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, you talked about Top Model. You said a lot of people don't know, but we know you from Top Model. You were a standout. What do you feel was the biggest misconception through that whole ordeal? Because I know when people saw you with Tyra Banks, there were a variety of perspectives and opinions on it. But for you, like, what was your biggest takeaway and the biggest misconception?
Well, I'll address. So it's interesting because one of the things when people talk about like your mental health hacks or, you know, some of the things that have been able to sustain me, even with everything that life has given to me, you know, because it's all a gift, right? If we know how to use it, alchemize it, make ourselves grow. So I'm not, you know, I don't see myself as a victim, and I don't necessarily like worry about other people's misconceptions. Like, it's actually a spiritual practice and an art to mind one's business. And me minding my business
Thank you.
me minding my business means me knowing myself, trusting my intuition, knowing, you know, who around me, in my family, in my circle of friends, in my community, who are the people who can reflect me back to me in helpful ways. Right? Those opinions I will care about. Strangers who I have no idea how they live their lives. You know, we probably don't share values. We probably don't, you know what I mean? Like, a lot has been exposed, you know, through social media, through politics. Like, why would I allow strangers whose lives I wouldn't want to affect how I feel about myself, which then in turn affects my ability to do my job and my purpose, which affects my success and my whole life, you know? So I think it's a really beautiful thing when we finally learn to mind our business. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure in the beginning, before social media existed, when we couldn't speak, you know, and we couldn't we didn't have a voice on the internet. It was just blogs. There was just a lot of trash talking, and there was just nothing that you could, there was no way to respond. And it was just like, wow. So like people went on thinking these things for years, whereas now you can nip something in the bud in a day, right? So I know that there was an agenda. Okay. I know that there was a formula. I know that I served a purpose for them, and I'm okay with that. And I know that I was misrepresented because I know that my family members were just like, are you okay? Like, what's happening? This is so confusing. And I'm like, it's okay. You know, like, it's something that is, that made me, it made me like stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Spend your time and energy like chasing and saying no to every single, like, actually, this is what happened. Actually, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not going to believe you anyway.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? When I told you about those 3 directors who were just like, I know that when people hear that, they're going to flip.
Yeah.
Oh, she ungrateful. Oh, she, you know what I'm saying? She don't respect that. That's your perspective and you're committed to it. And that's okay because I'm committed to mine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. And mine has gotten me this far. You know what I mean? Because if I was worried about that, then I wouldn't have the energy for April Sexton or Andrea Freeman or, you know, Monique Smith, who I just played, or any of these characters.
That's right.
Because I'd be worried about your ass.
Yeah, and it's an energy transfer. What?
And
why are you worrying about the energy transfer to somebody else that's
negative?
That's
the one takeaway. Like when you mind your business and stop worrying about how people feel and what they think, it really is a part of the healing journey. Yeah. I needed to hear that.
Everything is happening for me, not to me.
Oh, that's a word.
Everything is in line.
Yes.
Everything is working towards your good, even if it seems bad.
Correct.
At the time.
That's deep.
You know what I mean? How many times have you looked back and be like, whew, thank goodness I didn't get what I wanted done.
Yeah.
Listen, I just had a... Anyway, we're not going to do that.
No. Another time.
We don't gossip, but like, you know, there are things, right?
Yeah, we need the general.
Music videos that maybe people asked me to do that I was just like, no, that's okay. And then later seeing, you know, scandals with those people or whatever, you know, whatever it is. Yep. It's like, there's, you know, that like you just have to trust.
Trust your intuition.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would love to tell the audience besides the beautiful and brilliant things that you've said already in closing? Oh man, this has been such a great conversation. Y'all are so great. You're a handful. You're a handful, but you go, you fit. You know, you all go together. You give each other space. You have different interests. You know, you inject it worked. I love this. I want to say we love you, and I want to throw in closing. Today it's been chaotic in a sense. But, well, for me too. For you too. But getting here. When you called me and you was like, "Yeah, I'm on my way. I apologize," and I was like, "Listen, you helping us. It's a lot going on." But you know, every time we do an episode, it's about the takeaway.
It's about the experience. What did you learn? Us coming to California, in my head, I'm like, yeah, we're interviewing Yaya, you know, and not saying it like you're just another person, but in the moment, not truly understanding what the takeaway was. And I'm leaving here today a more healed person, healthier person, just more confident. Because honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I just came in this with like, I have no expectations. I'm just coming to do a job, but it was bigger than a job. It was more so, I felt like my purpose with coming here today was I needed to hear you speak that light and life unto others. And what you've done is you are encouraging us and motivating us to continue to be our true, authentic selves. And that wasn't what I was expecting. So for that, I want to personally say, and I say we, and even we as a collective, we want to say thank you, Yaya.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
you.
That is so sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am just, I'm so grateful for everything that has happened in my life to lead me to this point. And it feels so like when I hear you say stuff like that, I'm just like, it just makes me emotional because, you know, it takes courage to live on purpose,
Yes.
you know, and in purpose.
Yes.
Yes.
And just to have that feedback is encouragement to like, all right, keep doing it. Like, keep speaking, keep
Yes.
sharing, you know, because it's true. Like, people are not going to expect this kind of a conversation. They're like, okay, she's going to say like, you know,
Yeah.
talk about playing Whitney, talk about modeling, talk about, you know, maybe give some tea about whatever. But like, that's not ever the vibe. And sometimes I don't know if people are disappointed because they want something catty or they want something, you know, that they can gossip about, or they want to have a big headline. And it's just like, that's not going to happen here because I'm here to be in service. You know what I mean? Whether it's through art, whether it's through a class, and like, I want us all to heal, you know, especially as a community. And I use that word lightly. There's actually one of the acts are on community in my class.
Okay.
And it's just talking about like, what does that even mean these days?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What is the modern community versus the village? You know, where like we knew things about our neighbors.
Yes.
You know, their names, their birthdays, I don't know. Like, and now we're just kind of like these everyone's in their own world, but then we're connected digitally.
We are.
And that's community because we called it that, but it's not. Right. And so to want to really foster it for real and to have, you know, to create these spaces where like-minded, like-hearted people can gather and encourage each other to be their best selves. Like, that is my dream.
Yes.
Like, that's why I created this class, and there's going to be more. That's crazy. The title of the class is There's More Where That Came From.
Oh, okay.
That's the title of the inaugural class. There's More Where That Came From.
Oh, wow.
Because it did, like, you know, that video, and that's, like, can you imagine? Like, of course, I have so much gratitude for Tyra. She prepared me for this crazy industry. You know what I mean? And now, all these years later, can you believe that? 2 decades later, you never know when more gifts are coming. Like, it's birthed, that interaction with her has birthed an entire curriculum on forgiveness.
Yes.
Like, this is amazing.
We got to have you back for a forgiveness episode because
Yeah.
I've struggled with that. And I know a lot of people have struggled, but I'm learning and I'm growing. And forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for your own self-worth and your own healing. And that's the greatest lesson.
For your freedom.
Yeah. Now you really preach it. Come on. No, you really got me with that one. I never looked at it as freedom.
That's what it is.
But it is.
Honestly, it's not often that I'm smitten with somebody where my guard is like completely down. I didn't have to put on any extra I'm a bad man thing, you know what I mean? In this episode, it's just a simple conversation with somebody who's not only from my world, but somebody who again, simply has my heart and simply just made me drop my guard. And especially in a time where I fight soon in a couple of weeks and my guard is always up. And I'm always telling him like, yeah, I'm piss off. So in the terms of like you, the way you just like completely like just drop my guard, the way you just put me at ease, that is absolutely fantastic. That is beautiful. You are a pleasure to be around.
Thank you so
and
much.
I hope to meet more people in LA like that.
Because you're rare.
It is a
rare.
Oh, see, now we hating on LA.
No, in the world in general, it's not even that. I was quite impressed on how at ease you put me and how you just simply, you had me at a daze the entire time. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I would thank him, but I'm petty and, you know.
This is what we go.
But
we love him
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. My God, absolutely fantastic.
Thank y'all so much.
And can we say this was not scripted? I think it's important for people to know everything that we wanted to ask.
No.
I think you said it early on. We didn't.
I know.
The cards on the floor.
Paper on the floor.
They right here, like.
Don't tell them this, yeah.
It was meant to be though. It was truly meant to be.
Yeah.
Right. Something early on. You said, "What if I would have came earlier? What if I wasn't running behind? It wouldn't have been the same interview. The energy would have been different." So. We appreciate you, Yaya.
Yeah.
Thank you for all that.
Thank you. I am working on my punctuality though, so.
No,
But we also have to trust in divine timing.
So are we.
It's a dance, right? It's a dance, right?
Yes.
But what you've done is you've given us your time. And time is something that you'll never get back.
Yes.
You know, we can get the money back, we can get the clothes again, but we'll never get this moment again.
Yeah.
So for that, we say respectfully, we thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God, yeah.
And is that a wrap, guys? That's a wrap, I guess. Yaya DaCosta, the amazing Yaya DaCosta. Thank you.